God, I'm doing the wrong dinner. Hey Shane, how you doing?
Good evening, how are you?
Good. So, Motorhome Show, 0. The Motorhome Show that never was. Strange name. I wonder if people want to know. Right, the Motorhome Show nil is basically because we're going to start a Motorhome Show on Friday, isn't it, Shane?
It is, yes.
And we've been talking about it for ages. We thought, why don't we get into podcasting, doing podcastings? And then we thought, hey, let's just go live. We're stuck at home. We've got lots to do, lots of time. So we've got plenty of ideas to bounce out. So we thought today, what we'll do is we'll have the show that was never a show because it's our little way of practicing, having a chat, getting used to all the software. Anybody comes on and asks questions, we'll ask some questions. But we're just going to bounce for an hour odd, Shane.
Yeah. A bit like Jason said, it's an idea that's been going around. There's not really anything like it out there. And there's really not an insight to how the industry is. So that's something that I think we can show in a nice way. We can also get some different people on from, motorhome accessory companies and everything like that. And
Matt, keep buying them lottery tickets. Keep buying them, mate, and then come to either me, or Shane.
Yeah, go to Jason, and then you can sell it to me. There we go. So starting on Friday, we've got Aaron Mercer from camperbuyer.com.
Great guest, Shane. Great guest.
Yep. It'll be a good laugh, I think. He's raring to go again after what's been happening for the last few weeks. It'll be a bit of a bearded show on Friday, I think. Yeah,
it got a lot of knowledge, Shane. Hell of a lot of knowledge. Looks like Matt's not won the lottery.
Oh,
is Matt having his own private party in our chat?
He is, yeah.
All it is Matt. I think Matt's just like bored of just chatting to himself, I think.
Fair play.
So yeah, we're going to do a lot of these Motorhome shows. We're not going to have a specific time on just a Friday because obviously we've got lots of things to do as well. We're going to throw them out. We might do 2 a week, might do 3 a week, might do 1 a week. But what we want to do as well, we're going to get lots of guests on that are in the industry, Shane, aren't we?
Yes, like I said, different people. Like there's a few names I've got rattling about.
But now what we also want to do is, if you're a YouTuber, if you're a blogger, if you've got a caravan, if you've got a motorhome, what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Matt's comment at the bottom.
If you've got a motorhome, if you want to ask us a question, not just put them in the questions. We want to get you onto the show, basically. And the way we want to get you onto the show is dead simple. Is if you pick up your phone, go to my Twitter, Caravans and Campers at SY45RP. Follow me and I'll follow you back, basically. And then all you need to do is DM me hi, and we'll do the rest. We'll get you onto the show. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram and just DM me hi, and we'll do that. Shane?
Yeah, and if you haven't got either of them, just drop us an email to that address at the bottom, Shane at WeBuyingMotorcaravan.com. We do want to get some questions in, to be fair. Like I said, there's not much knowledge out there on the industry and how it works behind. If you look at the car industry, there's so many vlogs and people doing YouTube videos and stuff. Want people to get into it with the motorhomes and just ask those questions, really.
So don't forget, if you want to come on the show and ask us some questions or just have a chat or even talk about your YouTube channel, we'll promote that. All types of the community, we want you on. Onto my Twitter, follow me, I'll follow you back. If you've not got Twitter, join, I'll be your first follower. Also, you can go on Instagram. And again, Shane, there's your email.
Yep, my email address at the bottom. Happy to go with, just drop us a message. I'm using that email address pretty much solely for this. So far away. And we also are doing, Jason, for the people who want to watch these shows, is a podcast, and we'll put something in the bottom after this show just for a few more details on that. So when you're on your motorhome trips, you can download it, and if you really love us that much, you can have a listen then as well.
Jeff, have you won on the premiums?
I've started premium bonds as well.
I think I brought £10 at ages or £100 ages ago. I can't remember. I never do the lottery, do you?
I used to, but I never won, so I got bored.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave. Sorry. Right. What have you been up to?
I've just been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, just, you know, the website stuff that you normally do. I've been putting those show videos up that we did at the NEC. Bought a push bike. So I've been starting to do a few rounds, and then I've walks and little bits like that. The only things you really can do. What about you?
Hi, First Motorhome. How you doing? Mate, I have been so busy doing jobs and everything. I've enjoyed it. I'm like I'm on holiday and I don't know when I'm going back. But I must admit now, I don't know. We've got to do what we're told, haven't we? Really? Let's be honest. We
have. I think just cycling to work and stuff like that. The traffic this last week or two has just gone through the roof. It really has. So people are definitely getting back to work. We just need to see what Big B has. Sorry about that. Do you want to answer Prince? I'm about to pass my license with an automatic. What camper or motorhome would you recommend? It's got to be automatic, hasn't it? Yeah. The problem you've got, Prim, with automatic motorhomes is a premium on them. There isn't many automatics about, is the shame. No, I mean, they're a lot more popular, there's a lot more around in the newer models, but then your price bracket goes up and up and up. And I don't know if you remember at the show, I think automatic options was something like 500, 600, 700 quid on top of manual, which I think is bloody cheap, to be fair, when you're buying a new motorhome. I'll be honest with you, Shane, when we get an automatic in, they don't hang around. No, they don't. I mean, they don't at all. Prem, personally, I'd pass your test manually if you're going to be looking at getting a motorhome. What do you think, Shane? It depends if that's possible for Prim. But there are ones around there. It just depends what your budget is. Right, have you got this one here? Tony, hi guys, a quick question. Layout aside, do you think that European vans are better than British vans? Tough question, that is. In what way do you think they're better, Tony? Is it build? I don't. Well, go on, Shane. What do you think? It's a difficult one because if I was to choose a premium motorhome, I know what you're going to say. No, I'll leave that for later. If I was to choose a premium motorhome, I personally wouldn't go British. I just don't think the layouts and everything are quite as good. It's a difficult question, really. But I know generally they are better built in terms of damp, I think. And as you always say, they're more accessible. Yeah. I always say go German. Yeah. But we do make some good vans, Shane. Yeah. I mean, it's all down to budget. I mean, if you're spending, the Elddis, what are they, 45, 50 grand for a new one now, something like that. You don't really get much European stuff for that. And I thought some of the AutoQuests and little bits and bobs at the show, the 194s and whatever, they're coming on a long way. Dave, I think Chassons are a great van. And they hold the money well as well, Shane. Chassons are incredible at holding the money. Yeah. We obviously look at what they are new, especially, the stuff that's like 2019 plates, 2018 plates, and sort of work our way back, and we need to pitch it just below as a retail price, obviously below a new price, but they don't seem to go bloody down. I mean, something that was 45 grand 2 years ago is probably still 40 grand as a retail now. I think the chassis just get better and better, like another certain motorhome you're going to be talking about later. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I do hear about the odd chassis is the electric bed, but I don't think it's a major problem. I think the electric bed's probably a user error sort of thing, because obviously you don't want to bend them and people will try and force them up or down, and I reckon that's more the problem than the bed mechanism itself.
Shane, the amount of switches I've swapped over, took the key off and put a switch on instead of the key and press the up and down.
Yeah.
And just put on manual, just a switch on to do it.
Have you really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Because the keys are flimsy as well.
What do you need a key for a bed for?
Well, you have the locked, aren't they, for child? So, do you know what I mean? If you've got a child in the bed or you've got a child about, you've got to put the key in to be able to lift it up and down.
I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. Again, I do think it is probably user error why they do break more than...
Tony's just coming in now on build. It's a tough one. I'll go German. Heimer, Deathless.
Yeah. Bursner, Carthago, so on. It's a lot harder to find a damp one when it's built in Germany than it is in Britain.
Matt's going, aren't automatic gearboxes more expensive to get fixed?
That's your area, Jason.
Service them. Look after them.
Yeah.
Like anything else. Just service a motorhome when it should be serviced. When the cam belt needs doing, get the cam belt done. Oil, filter, every year, just get it changed. The commercial vehicles, they're built to last. Just look after them. If they do break, they are expensive. Only really want an automatic, Shane. Guess it's a case of making sure I save up more money. I think I will go Nissan England, little bongo. Prim.
Yeah, the bongos and the Elgrands. I think the Elgrands are imported, I guess. I know the bongos are a lot. Most of them are imported from Japan, but they're all right-hand drive. They're all auto.
Do you know the little bongos like the 2001s, 2002? If you actually look at them, they're ahead of the time. The automatic blinds. Yeah. And it's.
I think some of the roofs are as well. I might be wrong in that.
Yeah. Is it? Can you only keep a car in Japan for 7 years and it has to come off the island? That's why they get imported over.
That does ring a bell, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think you can only have a car once it's 7 years old. They can't have them.
Yeah, okay. Prim doesn't like bongos because they break down all the time anyway. So Nissan Elgrand it is.
What do we know? Are Volkswagen campervans worth the money they go for? Oh, don't get me started. Don't.
Well, that's one not to talk about later on anyway. They're worth as much as somebody wants to pay for them, and there's a lot on the market, but there's a reason for that because people keep making them and selling them and buying them. So I guess that's the only answer I can really say. I mean, we don't really know too much about the campers.
The problem you get, people buy a van for 15 grand, they spend another 15 grand kitting it out, and then they think it's worth 40.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful Volkswagens out there, Shane, but people get sentimental, mate.
I think the other thing with VWs as well is they're almost as separate to general motorhomes as cars are. They're their own little market. You got motorhomes, you got VW campers, and then you got cars. They're just ever so slightly different.
Yeah.
Unless you go down like an Autosleeper route or the main brand motorhomes that make their campervans, it seems to be a very different area altogether. Is the best way to describe.
Do you ever get asked this when somebody's looking at a £50,000 motorhome? Are they good on diesel?
Yes, and my answer is, how many miles are you doing in a year? And what's
my answer is, you are dropping 50,000 quid. Why do you want to bother about diesel?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You'd find something that's 50 grand. You're going to be doing a lot of miles on it. You're not going to be doing many miles on it. I mean, for the sake of saving a few quid over the 4 or 5 grand that people do on a motorhome a year, it's not really, for me, it's not a big decision maker. If you can get a motorhome, you're getting a motorhome. To save an extra 5 miles to the gallon.
I don't know anything. That's just what Google told me. Do you know what my favourite there's a website, and she's just set it right, Primus. There's a website that's taught me everything. Whenever I had a problem with a motorhome when I was first starting out, and that website was Google. Google. Amazing. Google's been good for us, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, motorhomes. They're not like a car where there's 10,000 of them made and they're in the country. Some of the motorhomes that are out there might be only one or two of. So that's the biggest part of my job, is researching what a motorhome is, and it takes some bloody doing. I'm starting to get good at it. It only took me 32 years.
You say you've got to make the mistakes, though. You have to make the mistakes. When was the last time you went to the motorhome, Shane?
I went to a place called High Peak in the Peak District, August bank holiday last year. It was
Buxton,
a lovely, a bit further up than that. It's about, from where I live, it's about an hour and a half away. But there's up in High Peak, what's the name of the place? I can't remember the name of the place now. But anyway, they do like a beer festival over the August bank holiday weekend. The weather was absolutely spot on.
Is that where you get past the reservoirs? That's Whaley Bridge, isn't it?
Yeah, that's slightly. It's not far off. But yeah, we go over Mamtor, big old hill, go for a bit of a cycle. And there's just a few of us that go up there, and there was 6 of us up there this time, and it was a bloody good time. The weather makes it though, doesn't it?
What van did you go in?
Went in a Carthago Opus 5.6. It was an old thing, but it was a big old thing. And you know what my feelings are with Carthago. But this was an old shape 07. But it was lovely.
Sorry, mate. No, just bongo. If by motorhome you expect it, but bongo vans are just juicy. I think Chris likes them.
Sorry, that's where I went. Hope Valley. Hope.
Right.
Do a beer festival there. Bongos are juicy. Yes, they are juicy. I think the 2.5 litre petrols, aren't they, with an automatic? So
big engine for the small van.
Yeah, it is a big engine for a small van, which is why they are juicy. But at the same time, you're probably going to be pushed for other options because there's not too much out there.
Yeah. So how long did you go for? A weekend or something?
Went on the Thursday night, came back Sunday night.
Right. Last time I went away was last year, and we went to Silverstone for the Grand Prix.
And how was that?
The Formula One. Mate, it was amazing. If you've never been to the Grand Prix before, just go. I'm a big Formula One. I love Formula One, but I've never had the opportunity to go to one. And I wanted to go just to see how quick these cars are. So we all the family went, and it was on the Friday, it was practice, and you got a free grandstand ticket. So we all sat up at the top and come around, and you're like, wow, how quick are these? And then Lily wanted to go to the toilet, so come on, I'll take you down. So we come down the bottom of the grandstand. I was on top of this grass, and they were right in front of me then. And she went to the toilet, and I stood there, and a Ferrari come past when I was on that level, and it blew me away. It blew me. But do you know what? It's a great weekend. What made it for me was there's so much going on. And what did it for me? Craig David was on one night, and loads of people there having a lot were drunk. But there was a group of lads. This is what sums it up. There was a group of lads who come and stood behind us, and you could tell they'd had a few, and they went, right, lads, you know the rules, don't swear, there's kids here. And I thought, and that's how it was all weekend. It brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And would you go again?
Yeah. The Red Arrows were fantastic. Amazing. And I said to Jake, I said, what was the most thing enjoying? He says, I never realised a car could go around the bend that quick. And it was amazing. Yeah. What's your favourite motorhome?
Favourite motorhome? Well, as you very well know, it's a make and model called a Carthago Liner for 2 i53. But it is 150
Did we do a video on that one?
We did do a video on that one. And
that's when you had your love it wanted.
I think that's when I was drooling, yeah, on camera.
Nice fan though, Shane.
Yeah, I just the lounge. It's just all about that lounge. I mean, it's a relatively new layout, like we said. It's almost like a wraparound U-shaped lounge, but then it does go into pretty much a full circle, square, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then you've got that. Then you got that electric drop-down bed, but it's separated at the front. It's not like your normal electric drop-down bed.
And then you've got the shower and the skylight.
Yeah, and then you've got that waterfall shower, which is, as you say, in the skylight. It's just incredible.
I think when we did review the show, Shane, what got me was the accessibility. And I keep banging on about accessibility. And what I mean by that is if you can get things such as your pump and water heater and all the other things that need fixing or getting at the back of the taps, the longevity of your motorhome, because if it's easy to fix, then things will get fixed. What I noticed was you got it everything, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It was lift a hatch up. It was there. Everything was there.
Yeah.
Kenneth, I have a Motorhome Swift Escape. Which model, Kenneth? Where can I get parts for bed plastic strip? I said earlier, Kenneth, you'd have to send me a picture and I can find out, but the greatest website is GOOGLE. Anything you want, you'll get there. What's on about by plastic strip, Shane?
Say again, sorry, Jason.
What's he on about with the plastic strip?
I'm not sure. Do you know what model it is, Kenneth? You can give us a model, then we can have a thing.
Yeah, give us a model.
Yeah, give us a model and I'll have a think.
It's only a matter. Well, Kenneth won't be able to do this. Matter of just going on to Swift's dealer website, isn't it?
That's my first protocol. Just get in touch with one of the Swift dealers, because if anybody's going to be able to point you the right way, it's going to be them, because obviously they will need bits like that as a general rule. German vans.
We've just been on about that, Chris. German, yeah. I'll tell you what, the last show was it the October one? Not the February one, the main big show.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed with Jaime.
I wasn't disappointed. For what reason? Like, I was disappointed with them. The reason I was disappointed in them is because they just seem to be a bit boring compared to.
When you get into that Carthago and you think, wow, how they've come on, and Jaime like.
Yeah, I mean, I forget which one it was. The flagship model that they've got, that looked absolutely stunning. It looks like just a bullet silver, lovely thing. But then inside, it just didn't really look like 120, 130 grand motorhome. I'm sure it was made like one, but like the Carthago and other makes, Deathlef and so on, they just look the part. Whereas
everyone's catching up, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been so far ahead for so long that they just need to do something a bit different, I think.
Phil Humphreys. Phil. Now, Shane, Phil Humphreys, he follows me on Twitter. He's been following me for a long time, supported me. Phil, nice to see you.
Good evening, Phil. Yeah. Good evening.
Could we get a decent 2 to 4 berth motorhome for 15k that I could get a few years out? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's sort of probably the budget that you need to be starting to look at, really, with the motorhome. And you will get a good few years out of it.
If it's your first motorhome, expect to have it a year. Because if you enjoy your motorhome, the first motorhome you buy won't be the right one, however much you think it is, until you start motorhoming. You're going to get between the 2002 2004. I'll be going Autocruise.
Yeah.
Best car.
Elddis.
Yeah. Little Swift.
Yeah. Swift might just be on the edge, but it depends with what you're looking at. You should be able to get something decent for that.
I'd have thought so.
Well, you will be able to get something decent.
Yeah,
just, as always, check for damp. at that sort of age, just to make sure it's been looked after well.
Yeah,
Best
check
advice, really.
check service records, check when the cam bolt's been done. What you can do basically before you buy a motorhome, you can go onto the government's website and type in MOT test history. And then what happens is if you type the reg in, all the tests come up. Now, if I'm looking at a 15-year-old van that's passed its MOT every time, I'm thinking, whoa, why? You expect to see a few fails. Well, that gives you good history and it gives you a good feel for a motorhome as well.
Yeah,
Anything?
Definitely. Yeah, no, that's the main thing. I mean, that's one of the first things we do when we get a motorhome come through as an inquiry is have a look at the MOT history. First thing we do, because, that'll teach you a lot. I mean, it's amazing how many motorhomes you do come across. We've probably had 2 or 3 in the last couple of months that we've been offered that haven't had an MOT since like 2015. Amazingly. Why? I don't know. They've just parked it up, haven't used it, but that can be motorhomes generally. Sometimes they don't get used, do they?
No. That's the thing. People have all the best intentions and then work commitments come along, things happen, and then they just end up sitting there, don't they?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Cheers, William. Anything you need to know, any help, any information, get in touch with either of us and we'll try and help you out the best we can.
Yeah, just to add to that, William, just to reiterate for the people who just joined us, we are doing another show. This is just sort of like a preemptive strike is the best way to put it, just to make sure things work.
Preemptive strike?
You like that, don't you?
I like preemptive strike. If it was me, I'm just saying, but we're having a practice.
Yeah, so we're having a preemptive strike.
Oh, I'm impressed with that preemptive strike.
Yeah, ready for Friday night. We haven't advertised this, and the comments coming in are absolutely brilliant. It's actually very nice to see. 7 o'clock Friday night.
Do you know what, Shane? I'm absolutely buzzing. We said today we didn't expect anybody to watch. It was just going to be a chat for ourselves. Basically, just have a bit of a practice for when we get to term Aaron on Friday. So at least we know what we're doing, iron out any little things that happen. And basically, we've got 20 odd people watching. We've had some comments come in. It was like, I'm blown over already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I really am. Okay, we're going to be doing shows. We want everybody on the show. We want a community. If you're a YouTuber, if you've got a motorhome, if you've got a caravan, if you want to ask us a question, it's great having these questions in the chat. Not a problem. But if you want to come on, simple. Pick up the phone. Basically, follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. And then just DM me, hi. If you can't do Twitter, do the same on Instagram. And also, Shane?
Yep, there's my email address at the bottom for those who haven't got Twitter or Instagram. Not everybody does have it, so just drop me an email. That is solely an email address that I'm going to use for this. So just fire away those questions. Or if you want to come on, whichever one.
Where are we up to now?
I think we're on...
Richard.
Hi,
what do you...
Go on, sorry.
Hi, what do you think of roll teams, specifically the Pegasus 7-4? You know more than me, mate. You need to describe them.
The A-class, this is. I think they're around 65, 70 grand, somewhere around that as a new price. You can probably pick them up for mid-50s now. I quite like them. They're quite modern looking. They did do a habitation door change, depending on where you're going to be using it, from the continental side to the British side. So just have a look at that, depending on what your budget is and where you need that door. I think it did change the space inside of them a little bit as well, so they could put the door on the other side. Again, have a look at that. From what I did get told once is the continental doors give you a bit more space on the inside. But again, I may be wrong.
Shane, that's another brand, Roller Team. Bit like Chasson. The Roller Team have actually getting better and better as well. Tony, hi Tony. Sorry, yeah, I mean for Roller Team, I mean we was for motorhomes that were probably 45 grand 4 years ago, probably not far off 35, 40 now.
Just going back to the roller team, another mate to consider at probably a similar budget is the Mobile Vetta K yachts, which me and Jason had a look at the show. They're not too far apart on price. Mobile Vetta, the K yachts. We did that on the last day, and we did the inside first.
Yes, that was with the bedroom at the back, wasn't it? And the bathroom was at the front. It was at the front of the bed.
Yeah. So I had the island sink. Same as the that was the K yacht 80. That had the one that we looked at had an island bed, and the island bed was actually adjustable height wise for the garage outside. Then it had the island bathroom sink, and then you had the lounge at the front with the drop down bed above there. Very similar. I don't think they're too far away in price. Maybe £5,000 difference. I might be wrong, but you'll find out.
That was an impressive van.
You like that, didn't you? Roller teams are very similar, I think. Very, colours and everything like that.
To be honest, all the Continental vans, the layouts are all pretty much the muchness, aren't they?
Yeah.
I had a pleasure of MOT tests on motorhomes for years, mostly Markies, putting them on my Class 4 ramp.
Now, I'm intrigued to know why. I'd like to see why you think that. Is it because there's parts of a motorhome that you sit there and think, oh, they shouldn't be on a road, but they are because it's part of the motorhome and not the chassis? Or for another reason?
Okay. Aid, I can't wait to be selling motorhomes.
Yeah, I'm the same as Aid, to be fair. I just want to get away in one. I want to go back up to the Peak District, back up to Hope or somewhere like that, and enjoy some nice walks.
Cheers, Brem. Chaps, Mrs. C likes the British layouts. How would you rate Swift, Elddis, Bailey, Autotrail, Autosleeper if you had to put them in a league?
I don't know.
Okay. Right. Number one, right. Autotrail and Autosleeper are good builds. Agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Bailey, I like. I think Autotrail are overpriced.
And?
What do you mean?
What else do you think? What else do you think about Autotrail and their seat belts?
Do you know what I don't like about Autotrail? Do you know? No. How you can't put the fresh water straight into the tank. You have to have that pump like a caravan.
The whale. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Isn't that the same on some of the Baileys though?
Yeah, it is as well, isn't it? Yeah. It's a bugbear of mine.
So go on, carry on.
All right. Are we going on build quality? We got to, haven't we?
Well, if I was to order them,
go on. Who's your first?
Autosleeper and Autotrail. Autosleeper tend to be more two-burst, don't they? They tend to be quite heavy, which I think for the market that they're aiming at, which is the older generation, you might struggle on your car license. Same with Autotrail a bit. Autotrail frustrate the hell out of me because they don't have build quality. Yeah, Autotrail frustrate the hell out of me because they don't always have the belts for the berths. Build quality, I'd probably say Autosleeper are the best out of the bunch.
So you say Autosleeper is the Man City and Autotrail is the Liverpool?
What, not winning a title this year?
Hey, don't be careful. Be careful. Right.
And that, just to finish off, Bailey, I really like. I think they do some great layouts. If you're buying a Bailey, they have got the Alutech chassis, but the floors are still wood. So check the floors. Elddis, good budget van.
Especially round about 2015, if you've got a 16, if you've got a fixed bed and it's got the hatch outside that goes under the bed. There's a plastic tray. Just check the water's not getting through. And what happens is it sits under the plastic tray and rots the floor. They did actually stop doing it, I think, 16. Don't quote me on it, but they completely changed it. So we'll go Autotrail, Autosleeper, Bailey, Swift. Swift are the Fords, aren't they? Of the motorhomes.
Yeah, I'll always like Swifts because they do a nice full range of motorhomes. They're not a bit. They're not like Autosleeper, which are generally 2 berths only. They've got they've got everything. They've got a full range. They've got everything from the Escape down the bottom, or the Swift Edge now, all the way up to the Contikis.
Yeah, and then what we did, Elddis last.
Elddis, yeah, I mean they are a budget van is the best way to put it. But you can have some of the special editions like the Marquis Majestics and so on, which same with the Swifts really, which put some really nice packs on.
Can you show me more of your older motors on YouTube channel? Cheers. Yeah, I'm changing the format of how I do it actually. Before I used to just do the motorhomes with a bit of music. Now I'm going to start to do like a review on them. And I want to do all the older ones as well, because I've seen a lot of people seem to like them. It's just that what's happened at the moment, I haven't been able to do that because what I've been doing is I've been in a review and also how to set that motorhome up. And the reason I do that, how to set the motorhome up, is because that vehicle I've already sold and it was for the customer and they get their own personal review. Setup, sorry. So I'm going to do a motorhome review and then I'm going to do a separate one about to set the van up for the customer. So yeah, I am going to get into old ones. I waffled on a bit there, Shane, didn't I?
You've done what, sorry?
I waffled on a bit there, didn't I? So yeah, Avon, yeah, no problems.
There's no time limit, as we said. Will motorhomes go up or down this year? Now, I think we need to. This is probably where we talk a bit about coronavirus and what we think is going to happen.
But this is a big topic we're going to be discussing Friday, Shane.
Yes.
This is a big one. I think Mike, great question. Do you want to leave it till Friday or do you want to just browse over it now?
I'm going to just do a very quick answer. I'm probably say, will motorhomes go up or down? They certainly won't go down.
No.
Well, there's good reason for it, which 7 o'clock Friday.
There might be a little bit of twitching when they ease up, because you've probably got a few dealers with a lot of stock sitting there. Don't forget, we've got the 2020 stock probably sitting on the forecourts in March, haven't you?
Some of the new stuff, like there was one dealer just before the lockdown happened. God, they were trying to shut the gates for the new motorhomes coming in at like 5 to 10 a day. However, in the last week or two, I spoke to a couple of big dealers who have turned around and said they may even increase the price on their motorhomes because there's going to be a bit of a demand for them because you're not going abroad anywhere this year. And people that we spoke to in the last week, they're not really budging on the prices. And there's stuff that they're just not budging on the prices. The dealers can't afford them to go down, and which they won't.
No.
Simple as that. If they're going to go down 10 grand, then every single motorhome is going to go. Dealers are going to go bust.
Oh, this is the plastic strip.
Oh yes, plastic strip. So 6 berth, bed on a lounge area. Both sides.
When you pull out the wooden slabs of the bed to make it, you can giggle that now, aren't you?
Yes.
Told you, best website in the world.
I just need to vision it. I can't vision the plastic strips. But yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute, Kenneth.
I'll leave you to that then, Shane.
Yeah, leave you to that one.
You're multitasking.
I'm multitasking.
William, me and the missus, 2 big dogs. What rig would you recommend for about 25k? I'd spend 20 grand on the motorhome and spend 5 grand on putting the dogs at the boarding.
Oh, I wouldn't.
I'm only joking, William.
I'd spend 20 grand on the motorhome and leave Vic at home for 5 grand.
What have you got there for 25?
Take the dog with me. 25 grand.
What layout though? We've got to go U-shape.
I'd never go U-shape.
Yeah, what about 6 berth U-shape with dinette? I'm thinking of the dogs because you could lift the table up for the dinette for the dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can. Yeah, I mean, looking. That's right. I've only just noticed the profile picture as well with the Rotty. So yeah, they're not going to be small dogs, are they?
No. You've got to have 2 areas, haven't you? Direct U shape.
Yeah, you're going to want something a decent size with that.
Yeah, 5, 6. It's got to be 5, 6 berth.
I reckon if you sign in on on Friday, William, I'm going to give you a couple of options on that. I'm going to have a good think on that one. I'm writing that down.
Make sure you do, Shane.
Oh, I will do. I love doing things like that.
Because William might be the only person who'll be watching us, and if he haven't, he won't be watching us, and we'll have nobody watching us.
Yeah. Right, that's written down. I'm going to have a look at that because that's a good question, actually. Because a lot of people, obviously motorhomes, like dogs on a general rule. And the size of those dogs, like this spaniel that Richard S. has got, are big dogs.
Tony builds, yes. I can't even remember the first question he asked us.
That was talking about we sort of touched on that really. The build quality of the Elddis, Autotrail, the British. Yeah. Build quality, they're all going to have good and bad ones is the best way to put it. Just do your checks properly and don't rush it.
Had 2-inch of tyre hanging off ramp and ramp struggle, but AO, some rules have changed for the better. I think when I retired 5 years ago. You enjoyed your time, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Vincent, I drive a 2017 Chucky line automatic on a Fiat Cat. How would you compare them to the Mercedes? Cheers, Vincent from Ireland. Cathog. Off you go. Go on, Shane, off you go.
Right. I mean, the question's more on... Okay, let me just read that again. So I drive a 2017 Carthago Chic C-Line 2.3 177 automatic on the Fiat Ducato. How would you compare them to the Mercedes? Is that comparing them to the Mercedes Auto? Now, one of the big things, to be fair, the difference between the Fiat and the Mercedes, as a general rule, I can't justify the price because you're not really spending that much time driving it. The only thing you want a Mercedes over a Fiat for is because you've got that rear-wheel drive for the garage. As an automatic, the Fiat have just brought out a new automatic gearbox, which is a lot better.
That's a great answer.
As Carthago, but in terms of Carthago, I love Carthago. But we'll move on from that before I start drooling again.
just a quickie, Shane. Lee Bateson. Albi Caravan Services. It's not a setup. I can't believe he's on. Hope you're staying safely. Lee does a bit of work for us when we're really busy and everything. He basically, when he first started out, he was doing quite a bit of work, and then he left his job. Good guy. He actually cares about what he does. Lee does. Good caravan repair servicer. Really appreciate that. Watching, Lee. Really appreciate that, mate. Hope you're well.
I mean, if Lee's probably going to be your best bet in telling you what the best build quality is, because it's all right me buying them or Jason selling them, but somebody who works on them day in, day out, that's a different level altogether, and that's how he's listed them 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Actually,
Lee, get in touch, mate. I'll actually give you a tinkle. Actually, I think we'd like to get Lee on.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, and we can touch on, because he probably 70% of his work is caravans that he does. But yeah, I'd like we can have some good chats there, and we can get people who have got some problems as well that will struggle to answer. And Lee, we'll see what we can do with Lee.
Yep.
I think your prices are honest, Jason, and look after them well.
You've said this is your friend, isn't it? It's got to be. How much you paid him?
If you watched, I'll tell you what happened. If you watched the last video I put out, it was a deathless motorhome, Shane, wasn't it?
Yes.
At the NEC. And we started filming it, and a sales rep must have thought I wanted to buy deathless. And he just... What happened, mate? He just wouldn't leave us alone.
Well, you carried on talking, and I went to sleep on the bed. Best way to put it. But yeah, Jason's prices, I'm not just saying this. Bear in mind, yeah, Jason's prices are pretty good, and he does look after them well. But it's one of those things. I have a look when I'm trying to buy a motorhome. I'll look across the board and see what they're worth. Google, Autotrail, or everything like that are the best places to look, and Jason does come very well priced indeed.
This job that we do isn't hard. It's how we sell the vans, and it's how we send the vans out. We send the vans out the best we possibly can. If there's a problem with any of our vans, it's not a case of bring it in next week or ever, bring it in tomorrow. With Motorhome, it's not like selling cars. Motorhomes are really clicky. Everybody waves to one another. Everybody goes to campsites, and at campsites you talk. It's all about reputations. Quick pitch to myself: anybody who has a motorhome offers, they can bring it back every year. We do a free gas test, and we just look after the customers basically. And that's what it should always be about.
Yeah, because, and we mean this in the nicest way possible, we don't ever want to see you again unless you're coming to buy another one. So you get it right going out, and hopefully you won't see the customer again because they'll be out of enjoying it with no problems.
This is shame why I try and do a vast range from like 5,000 right the way up to probably 50,000 maximum, because there's no better than somebody starting off with a 10,000, 5,000 van. They come back a year later, move to a 15, move to a 20, and basically move up. Interesting that you wouldn't consider a U-shaped lounge. That's you. That's you.
Oh, dear me. Why? This is my personal preference if I was to have one, simply because I couldn't be bothered to make the bed up every night. Simple as that.
Agree. But a U-shaped lounge, I find U-shaped lounges are what people have who've had a caravan and they're moving to a motorhome. It's one of the most popular layouts for people who are moving over to motorhomes. So that dog's looking at me funny now, shit.
Yeah, not surprised.
Engine. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Oh, that was the Carthago question. Engine himself, you'll probably answer this bit better. Fiat or Mercedes?
Mercedes.
For what reason? Just out of interest?
They just build. They just go forever, don't they? Well, it's like anything else, and it's how you look after them. I've had Mercedes cars, and I don't ever seem to have a problem. I dare say this now, next time I jump in my car. But Mercedes, I've never had a problem. BMW, never had a problem. But I service them regularly. I look after them. Go on, ask me a question I can't answer.
I'm going to ask you another question. Yeah. So which one don't you like? See, yeah, which one don't you like?
Renault.
Why?
Because I always seem to have problems with Renault. Whenever we get problems, the cam belts, according to the mechanic, are a pain. In nice words to do as well. But I've always seemed to have problems where they cost me the most money to get right before is Renault. Always Renault.
We've got for saying that we're out on the road buying, the two that I've broke down in our Renaults. It's probably a coincidence. It's probably the owners that haven't looked after them, but I broke down in them quite spectacularly. I think the last one cost me $5,000 to sort the engine out.
All right. What chassis then?
Favourite chassis? Ford. I like Ford.
New Ford.
I really like new. I like Fords generally,
chassis.
all the way through the years, because they've always been quite well spec. They've always had cab air conditioning as a general rule. They've always had cruise control. The two little bits that you really want in a motorhome, really. Whereas some of the older Fiats and stuff didn't have that.
Do you know with the new Ford? I'm not saying new Fords. Probably about 2012 onwards. They feel good when you drive them, you know.
Oh yeah, they're a lot more car-like.
Yeah.
And interestingly, Chasson, especially, I think from 2019 model ranges, Fords are now their flagship base, not Fiat, Ford. They've got all on the 170 brake horsepower, autos, same as Benamar. They've done the same thing. Even Autotrail, your little Autotrail F62. Do you remember that little two berth that you saw at the show?
Yeah. What a nice van that was. That little two berth. It felt nice, Shane. It wasn't. That was a lovely little van.
Yeah, that was on the Ford.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting bogged down here. I'm going to have to. Hi, guys. I have a small car. I was wondering what your opinions were on lightweight caravans. I was thinking that the Swift Basecamp, that Swift Basecamp. You know,
Yeah.
What a great little caravan that is. The only thing, though, if you're going to buy one of them base camps, you've got to have that back awning on.
Yeah, for space.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing with base camps is if you can actually get a hold of one. I don't know what it's been like for the last year or so, but I know towards the start of them coming out, God, they were popular little things that you just couldn't get hold of the stock. Dealers are actually begging other dealers for more base camps.
When we're at the show, I went back to that base camp probably about 3 or 4 times. It just impressed me. Nice. I don't know. You've got to have that awning on the back.
Yeah, you got it. It's a space saver, isn't it? Is the best way to put it. It's a trailer tent, but better.
Yeah.
It's the best of both worlds.
Anthony, base camp, yeah. What you guys think? I've not had many Frankies in, mate. So that's your end.
There's not that many around. That's probably one of the reasons why. But yeah, a good solid make. Are you looking at new or old? That's probably the best question to ask, because they're coming into a different. They're almost up in the game a little bit in the recent years to compete a bit more with the Carthagos and other bits like that. They're getting a more high-end van than they were. They were a bit of an high-end van, but they're a bit quirky and they weren't quite as popular for whatever reason.
Where are you based? I'm based in Shropshire. Website caravansandcamperslimited.co.uk. Shane?
Yeah, I'm based just outside a place called Burton upon Trent. We buy Motorcaravan.com. We generally buy more than we sell, but if we do sell one, it's because it's a very, very, very good one. Not to say that the other ones aren't. Just we've got a nice network of dealers that we deal with, which is where we make our friends.
As soon as house sells, we will meet. I'd love to, Chris. Not him. Not him.
HSE sells. As soon as the HSE, I'm assuming that's sort of Land Rover or Range Rover. So that'll be a nice chunk.
HSE, is that not a house?
Oh, I don't know. It could be. I don't know. It's either a Land Rover, a Range Rover, a HSE, or it's a house. I don't know. I'm old-fashioned now. I don't know what these short words are anymore.
I was laughing at that video when I watched because you could tell by your face that you wanted him to go. You had a proper strop on you, didn't you?
Oh, I just lay down in the back. Like, it's nice that somebody comes and talks to you and tells you a bit about it, because what he did tell us, it was good. But then when he came back the third and fourth time, I just left him to you.
It was a deathless, wasn't it?
Was it not Sunlight? What was it? Deathless?
What was good with it is they have all the upgrades on them when they sell them.
Yeah, you're not buying a motor-based vehicle and then putting an extra 10 grand worth of extras that you will end up needing.
Yeah, it was 60 grand, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but all the extras were all included in the price, which I liked. That was the one, if you remember, it got the 2-side seatbelts.
Yes. Yeah.
And there isn't many that do with the side benches that do the seatbelts on the side.
That's right, yeah. I can't think of any others really.
No.
Yes, I think that one. I think that was was that Loudon Special, something like that, that were importing them, or they are importing them. It was the Eurostyle, Death Left's Eurostyle. That was the one.
Right.
That was the one.
Hi guys, started watching about 2 weeks ago, but don't know where you're based. If you look in the description box, Richard, underneath the videos, it gives you our websites of who we are. I'm Caravans and Campers Limited.co.uk. Also, We Buy Campers, where we sold, got a website for buying them. Shane. Oh, Shane.
Motorcaravan.com is the best way. It's generally the buying website, but that's where we do sell the odd few as well. But there's something I just want to add on to that. We're doing this show. We're not doing it to promoters. We are this one just because it's a bit of an introduction and a bit of a practice for Friday at 7 o'clock. But we just want to have a chat about motorhomes. It's something that we both bounce off each other because it's not a job. It's something that we love doing.
It's the same as the reason why we set these YouTube channels up. That's why I do a lot of hints and tips on there. I do the handovers. So when one of my customers takes a motorhome home, they've got a video there. So if they get stuck, and that's where we're also going to incorporate as well with the videos when we come out of lockdown, because obviously there's going to be not social distancing, it's going to be called retail distancing. So my customers there, when they have the motorhome, it'll be all set up for them. They'll have their own video, and that's how we used YouTube. And then I started to showing people simple things of how to fix things, because a lot of stuff is simple. I can do it, so everyone else can do it. It's all about giving, and then perhaps somebody in the future might come along and buy a motorhome. So we're not promoting selling any, but cheers for asking. I went off on one then, didn't I?
No, it's but no. I mean, I've got to admit, Jason's videos. I mean, I don't personally do any work to any, but when I do, the first thing I do is have a look on YouTube, and a lot of the time, Jason's videos come up, and I have to look at him even more than I probably want to at times. But they are very good videos. And just going back to the dispatch videos, is that the best way to put them? How to work your motorhome and stuff like that? That's probably going to be the way that a lot of companies are going to be going this year, because obviously you can't do the close quarters because of social distancing. So it's something I think a lot of people will have to get into, is doing a video of how everything works, posting it up on YouTube or sending it on or whatever. And then you've got that tutorial for life then.
Yeah, the motorhome industry is very slow to change anything. That's where I think I mentioned in one of my videos, Shane, and I spoke to you a lot about it. I read a report last year where it said, Google did a report, and they said by the end of going into 2021, 85% of content that we look at on the internet will be video format. That's when I thought I need to start doing things. But I am starting to see some motorhome dealers now starting to do what we were doing 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you have, I daren't watch some of our older videos because they're just terrible. But you get into it, and you know, if I was a dealer starting up, or even a dealer now, I'd really get onto YouTube and start doing the videos, because it's the second biggest search engine after Google.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the dealers at the moment are still advertising in the motorhome magazines, the practical magazines, and them type of places. It costs a lot of money, and in a month's time, that magazine's gone. We publish content on all different platforms. What do? We do LinkedIn, we do Twitter, we do YouTube, we do Instagram, we do Pinterest, Facebook, and once we put something up there, it stays there.
Yeah. It's content that's always there, and if somebody wants a motorhome, then you know all the information's out there. Is the best way to put it.
But I would say, if you're thinking of doing a YouTube channel, just post. Mine were terrible. Just post, and you just learn. You get to learn something new. Just post them up. And I find YouTube's a really good community as well. Really nice people. Yeah. Love your videos, always very informative. I haven't got a motorhome myself, but we'll still watch your vids. Keep it up. Thanks, Tony. Much appreciated. How more expensive are the Mercedes engine? 5 to 10k.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, as a new price used. It's a bit sometimes a bit of a difficult question because they don't always do the same models on various chassis. So they'll do one model, but they'll only do it on the Fiat. So there's not really much to compare. You get some of the older Autotrails that are on the Mercedes. They might be $2 or $3 grand more. Do you reckon if they're on a Mercedes instead of a Fiat?
Yeah,
and generally a better seller as well.
It's because of the Mercedes badge, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and more chance of being auto at that sort of age as well.
Hi guys, we have an Autotrail Delaware and we want to remove LED rear lights. Any advice how to take them off? It's hard because you can't see, can you, Shane? Do you want to make a note of that?
Oh, that's one for you to answer, yeah. I'll just drop my paper. 1 minute.
Why do you want to take them off? I bet. See, that's a difficult one as well for me, Delaware everywhere. When it comes to things like that, we have our own mechanic who does them type of things, things engine-wise as well. Mostly I deal with the inside workings of the water, the heating and things like that, to be honest. But if you make a note, Shane, it's something we can have a look at.
Yeah, write that down.
When you buy your motorhome to sell, what do you look for and check before you part with your money?
Great question.
It is actually, isn't it? Not going to tell you because you'll do it yourself. It's experience, Yvonne. Experience. Go on, Shane. You buy more than me.
What do we look for? We look
MOT check for this, isn't it?
We'll start the process. If I'll have a look what they're online for, where they are online, how many there are online, what sort of price they're up for, and what do we look and check for? Just daft things like if it's been maintained, service history, as Jason said earlier on, MOT history. The biggest one for me, above and beyond anything, is damp. It's called a Protometer Survey Master, and for everybody who's listening, it might cost 300 quid, but it will be the biggest saver of money you'll ever get, because if you get a motorhome that starts getting damp, it's going to cost you more than that 300 quid by some way.
A lot of the older vans will have had issues with damp though, Shane. When all said and done, it's a metal box bouncing along a concrete road. Yeah,
and it is built by humans, and there is user error. You know, if they've not, it only takes a bit. It's not even how it's put together. Sometimes if a bit of sealant fails, that's nothing to do with the owner. It's just you need to keep an eye on it and seal it when you can.
Yeah, because it's like take your house now. There's something on your house that wants doing, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, you only have to listen to what houses are like when they're new built.
Yeah, it's on the same as a motorhome.
Yeah.
There's no perfect motorhome out there, folks.
No.
There isn't.
But yeah, long and short, damp check, service history, MOT history. And when I go to buy a motorhome, you just need to make sure you know what you're buying.
I think you'll like me, Shane. If I'm going to look at a 10-year-old van, I'm going to appreciate there's going to be dinks in it.
Yeah, definitely.
There's got to be wear and tear. I take that into account. If people are straight with me and tell me exactly what it is, and I offer them that price, I don't want to haggle. I just want to go, thank you very much for being honest. There's your money. I'm off. Shane?
Yeah. You're gonna expect dinks, dents, damage, and even a little bit of damp, but it's when it's excessive, then that's when it becomes, they are lived in. They are big things that people aren't used to driving. So you've got to expect some, wear and tear. A lot more than a car, I might as well say. Because if you go to a car dealer and buy a car, most people are going to expect the bodywork to be absolutely spot on because they're easy to work on. Motorhomes aren't easy to work on. You can't just pull a dent out on fiberglass. Yeah. It's a bit more doing.
Do you know what's my biggest gripe that gets me in a bad mood? When the electric step doesn't work.
Yeah.
Winds me up. Electric steps.
Yeah.
All right, what's your opinion of a rear-wheel drive motorhome as in some new Carthagos?
Personally, I think it's probably the better way because the chances are you're going to have a garage on a Carthago and you'll have that heavy load in the back, and that's where you want the drive.
Can't say much more.
Nope.
House got to get shot of bricks and sticks.
HSE.
Told you it was house, didn't I? See, you're not down with it.
I'm not, no. All before my time.
Oh, thanks for the advice. The other option is to sell up and go total van life, total stealth off-grid. If you were to retire into a van, what one would it be? The longer you're going to spend in a motorhome, the bigger I'd go for. A-class.
Yeah, A-class, fixed bed, because if you're going to live in one, you don't want a bed that you're going to have to make up every single night.
Yeah.
And I don't like making up the bed at home every few days, let alone every single night. So yeah, big payload. If you've not got your over 3.5 ton license, make sure you get it because you'll need it for the van size.
Ooh. Do any dealers let you try before you buy?
Not that I'm aware of, apart from renting one, hiring one first, but not many. There's not really a crossover between renting or hiring and selling, is there?
Richard, that's a little bit like having your cake and eating it. Do you know what I mean?
The best answer is not really.
Hire.
You just need to hire.
Hire. It's a double thing question, that is, though, to try before you buy. Are you trying to buy because you want to see if you like motorhoming, or are you buying it to see if you like the motorhome? Now, if you like the motorhome, when you've been to view it, then you're buying it anyway. If you know what I mean, Shane.
Yeah. The best question is to hire one first. It really is. Just try, probably hire one in the winter because they're a bit cheaper to hire then.
Cheers, Richard. Am I right in saying you have a caravan park also? Just thinking, could have a weekend there that will give us time to look around there. I am actually based on a caravan holiday park, Chris. I don't have anything to do with them. I just rent the pitch off them. I've been there donkey's years. So what you can do, yes, you can come to the caravan park and stop on the caravan park. Anybody who's coming to look at my vans or is coming to pick a van up, wants to stop the night, I do get them discount for it as well. But yeah, I am based on a holiday park, but I have nothing to do with the holiday park. If you know. It's
a bit of a funny one because when me and Jason started talking, I found out where his business was, and it's actually my family's business about an hour and a half away from me. It's where my dad used to go when he was young on the farm, because basically where Jason was, it used to be a farm, and then the army, during the war, the farm got taken off them. They got all the bases and everything put down, so it was absolutely ideal for a caravan park when it opened back up again. But that's my extended family where Jason is based.
Small world.
Small world. Lower Laken.
Delaware, everywhere. We want to take the lights off to get the wine to connect a positive feed. Oh, this is the Delaware, isn't it? Feed to a camera from the side lights so I can see behind the van when driving. So you want the camera on. Could have a wireless camera.
That's not my area. I'm going to be perfectly blunt.
I'll be honest with you there, when it comes to cameras or tow bars, I use a fantastic company called Salop Towing, just based in Shrewsbury. For what it costs me to actually buy the tow bars and to buy the reversing cameras, it makes sense for me to just use that. I'm sorry, Delaware, I can't help you out there, matey.
I mean, the other thing is, Jason keeps saying, there's a lot of motorhome forums. If you just type in that sort of question and just maybe type in motorhome forum afterwards, somebody might have the answer on reversing cameras.
You'll get 50 different answers.
Yeah. One of them might be right.
They'll be clever than us. Local dealer to what islets?
A place, I think.
Local dealer to islets. You hire a van off his hire fleet, and if you buy a van, he knocks off the hire cost.
Good idea.
Yeah, but he is an hire company though, Shane.
Is he? Okay.
No, look. If you hire a van off his hire fleet, and if you buy a van, he knocks off the cost. Which
that might actually be a common thing in hire.
Yeah.
Circles. They do tend to be different companies from general motorhome sellers. Yeah.
Well, they've just branched out.
Yeah.
So, but if I was hiring vehicles out and somebody came along and brought a motor off me, I'd probably do the same type of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Small 6-metre van, easy to drive and get around. Hi, Tony. Very large vans with fixed bed, pros and cons. It depends where you're driving around, Tony. If you're going to be using the van as a dual purpose, that means i.e. going camping in and going to work in or pottering around in, a small van. Very large vans with fixed beds are solely for going motorhome.
Yeah, and the other thing, just to add to that really, is some motorhome caravan sites do have a length limit or do have limited spaces for the longer ones. But you can... We bought a motorhome called a Chasson Welcome 530 the other day. Both that and a Burton that we bought, and Jesus Christ, the space that's inside them. You can struggle a bit with the payload and whatever on the 6-metre van. It depends how much you're going to be, like Jason says, it depends where you're going and depends how much time you're going to spend in it. Because if you're going onto sites and then you're going out walking all day, then as long as you've got a nice big lounge.
Did you not buy a load of Chassons just lately?
Yes.
What happened there? It was a network, wasn't it? High network.
Yes, it was, yeah. It was a high network that went under, and the customers owned... Basically, there's about 400 customers who bought a Chasson and hired it to this company. That company has since been bought out now, and I think they're trying to keep those vehicles in stock. But yeah, just have a look at something like a Chasson Welcome 530. That's got a hell of a lot of space, a big lounge.
Or that little Autotrail.
Chasson. F62, wasn't it? Was it a Tribute F62? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. So two Chasson Welcome or Chasson 530, because they do a flash version, and the F62 up by Autotrail. Both good starting vans to have a look at. It depends how long you can spend in them as well.
How many motorhomes do you buy a week when you're rocking and rolling?
Half a dozen, something like that. We'll try and get one a day. Somewhere around there.
Where's the furthest you've been?
Furthest I've been is Inverness. And even though it's a bloody long drive back, we fly up and we come back down, I think it's the A9. And that's probably one of the nicest drives I've ever had, because they've also got the Air Force bases around there. And when you're going down this lovely countryside road, you sometimes have the fighter jets going down. And it was just brilliant. It scares the hell out of you when you think that the motorhome wheels have fallen off at first, but it's actually a fighter jet above.
What did you buy?
I knew you was going to ask that. A motorhome.
It was a new one though, wasn't it?
It would have been a newer one to fly up that far.
Would you consider it with an S for a 1998 Autosleeper symbol on a Fiat?
No. How many do you sell, Jason? On a good year?
150.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good numbers.
Yeah. Roughly 2 to 3 a week, basically. But we're only a small business. We're not geared up for the amount of numbers.
No.
Of your markets and everything else, basically. So
yeah.
What's your favourite part of the job?
Favourite parts of the job?
Oh, hang on. Where's the furthest that you didn't buy a motorhome from?
The far coast of Wales. And
Right.
it was one that really sticks in my head because it was about a 4-hour drive away, because you have to go all the way through the middle of Wales or around the outside. There's not really the best roads going into there. And one of the questions we asked before we went out there is, does it have, or did it have, pets or smokers? And it was almost like a comedy sketch, because we opened the habitation door and out came this tumbleweed of fur and ash. Went into the bathroom. Sink was an ashtray effectively, and in the cab itself at the front, the ashtray was overflowing, and we just walked away from it. It wasn't worth anything. It was that battered, and I think we went out there to pay about £20,000 for it. So it wasn't like it was a cheap motorhome.
What was the round trip?
8 hours.
It's frustrating sometimes, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is.
The annoying part is you get them in runs as well.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
We can probably go 2 months without getting one, and then we'll get 3 in the space of 2 weeks.
What's your favourite part of the job?
Favourite part of the job? I do love doing this YouTube bit.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing the shows with yours truly.
Yeah. It was a good show, that January, February, what was wanted.
It was, because
we had a good laugh.
It also taught me about them as well. Is I get to learn from them while I'm doing it. I also, as daft as it sounds, like minting up a van, which I'll probably say I know you're the same. I do a good job of it, and you take it to the next level.
Oh, I love a dirty van. Oh, you could just lose yourself. Start on the roof, and then just work down, and then tea-cut and wax all the front up as well. But because
a motorhome can be damage-free, but it's really dirty, and it'll look a low-value motorhome until you clean it, and then it seems to you can almost add £3,000, £5,000 onto it just by the appearance.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when it's got the green around it as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't beat a good bit of green. Can't beat a bit of green.
What's your auctions are good?
Auctions are good.
Yeah.
Not for buying or selling necessarily. It's so I just seen that comment from Lee just come up the bottom. Thanks for letting us into that secretly.
Taught you everything you knew, Lee. I like the auctions is because you get to see how the market's going.
Both that, and I like to see people there.
Yeah.
You know, we apart from making calls and going out and actually buying them, the auction it's once a month, and there's probably 20 different people, 30 different people that you speak to that are all in the trade.
Yeah,
it's an information place.
Yeah, very good information, but also you're like me who logs every single motorhome that goes through, so we know you can spot. At the end of the day, by looking at the auction, it's the lowest, so it's the first. If you can spot the trends there, you know it's going to go filter up through. Yeah,
I mean, bearing in mind, dealers probably buy 80-90%. Would you say? There's not many public people buy them. The dealers buy most of them, so it's a very good indication of what's good and what's not.
If I was looking to buy a motorhome, I wouldn't, unless you've experienced, buy one from there. But it's a fantastic place to go. Rather than going to a show where you've seen all new vehicles, it's a great place to go to see all different makes and models, all different ages.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was my signal or went there, but I'm guessing you just said that you've got all different ages and makes and layouts and everything.
Yeah.
In one place. Yeah.
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 I'll remember that, Lee. New Mercedes 2016 onwards, I've had many problems, including rip-off land sensors costing £800 each. You're going to get problems with every make or model, aren't you? Let's face it. They sell many vehicles you're going to get that chain, aren't you?
Yeah, it's either good or bad luck, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, you obviously your repairs on something like a Mercedes are going to be more expensive. That's your downside to them.
What's your biggest gripe with motorhomes?
Couple of things. One is lack of space for sitting down on the toilet in them. It's more because I went to Ashbourne in the Peak District 2 years ago, and we took a Swift, it was like an 04 Swift Contiki. And you actually went to sit down on the toilet, and there's nowhere to put your legs.
Seatbelts. Did you get that? I've lost him. Seatbelts.
There's nowhere to put my legs. So, hold on, Jason. Oh yeah, you're back. I might have lost you. Yeah, the other thing is, like you just said, belts.
Yeah, seatbelts. Why have a 4-berth motorhome and only put 2 seatbelts in?
Or even a 6-berth with 2 belts.
Yeah.
Autotrail and Swift, especially on the bigger models, Contikis and Frontiers are very good at that. But a lot of them are, not them so much, but a lot of motorhome manufacturers are starting to get better at that. Elddis, for example, in 2014, they started promising that there'll be as many belts as there are berths. So they started doing, so you could still have the bench seats in them, but then you could do a pop-up 3-point seats with 3-point belts. And I did notice that Benamar have started doing that as well, in a different fashion to what Elddis are doing.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say is your best pound-for-pound motorhome?
Probably Chasson or Roller Team. I quite like something like a Roller Team Autoroller 707, I think, because you have got 6-7 berths and it's good value for money.
Yeah, yeah. The older Adras as well, 2005, 2007, you can buy them at good money as well. And I mean that retail as well. And they're a well-built van chain.
Right. What about Naus for that sort of age? Are they similar? They seem to do quite well with the price.
I haven't had many in, so I don't really want to. I don't know what to say with you on that one.
No, we've had a few obviously, and they tend to. You get some nice colours on the body as well. They're not just plain white, which most of them were. You get some silvers and blues in them, which makes them stand out a little bit more.
Do you want to tell everybody about Friday?
Yeah, just want to quickly say, Tony Collins, thanks guys, brilliant evening and very informative. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for signing in. We didn't expect this to go quite as well as it has. With all the comments, it's been very nice actually.
I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have. I mean, that's nearly an hour and a half gone without even thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to be doing some more live shows. The Motorhome Show. We want as many people on as we can get. Great comments, fantastic comments, but we want to speak to other people. If you're a YouTuber, if you're a motorhome dealer, if you've just got a motorhome, you want to ask a question, you want to have a chat, basically go to Twitter, follow my Twitter, Caravans and Campers at SY45LP. I'll follow you back. Send me a DM. Just say hi. We'll take care of all of that. If you want to go on Instagram, do exactly the same. And if you want to get in contact with Shane, if you haven't got Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah, that's simply Shane at WeBuyAnyMotorcaravan.com. We are going to post this video online, both on YouTube and other platforms. We're also going to make it as a podcast as well. So if you can't tune in, but you want to listen to it on the road, and we'll put details like that at the bottom of that as well.
Enjoyed it?
Very much so, yeah. I'm looking to. I'm not going to lie. I've been very relaxed about it for the last few days until about 10 minutes before the show started.
I tell you what, it's been stressful, hasn't it?
Do you know what's actually made this show?
The people.
Yeah, the people. I think I'd have struggled to get into it, but as soon as the questions started coming in,
yeah.
especially with who was it that was having the party at the start? Oh yeah, it was Matt West. It was Matt Westby, wasn't it? He started having a party on his own, and that absolutely made it for me. And after that, he was down from there.
Lee, you haven't got a clue what a douse van is. Douse, you thought that was a wardrobe. Sorry, but carry on.
Yeah, he thought it was a canals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been great. Really, really, really enjoyed. Cheers, Chris. Appreciate that. Phil, I'm speaking to you on Twitter. Who else have we got left? We've got Matt. Oh, cheers for that. I'm going to have a beer now, will you?
Yeah, I am as well.
And cheers, Richard. See you Friday.
Yep, 7 p.m.
See you Friday.
I got it right. Yeah, 7 p.m. Friday. Like we said at the start and a couple of times all the way through the show, this was a practice run or a preemptive strike.
Very, very good friend of both of us on Friday, Aaron, camperbuy.com. He probably buys more campers than me and you, Shane.
Yeah, I think last time I spoke to him, he said he buys something like 500 a year.
A lot of knowledge. Really, really looking forward to that, Shane.
I am as well. It'd be interesting to see what his take on the market generally and what we think are going to happen with prices. As we said earlier on, I mean, we give a little bit of an answer to that, but it's interesting to see what other people say as well. And along with him coming on Friday, we will have other shows.
Oh, we're having a quiz.
We've got a quiz as well, haven't we?
We're having Guess the Motorhome.
Yeah.
We'll do
Motorhome
the sport,
news,
which will take a second.
Yeah.
So we're having a quiz. So we're quick. No, I'm not going to say anything. We're having a quiz. We're having a Guess the Motorhome, aren't we? We're going to fire some questions out to Shane, and that's it, really, isn't it?
And we'll probably chuck some over to Aaron as well.
Yeah. I'll just finish these off. Thanks very much. We'll see you all Friday.
See you guys. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.